In this 18th chapter, the king repents after placing a snake around the neck of a sage and hears the curse of the son of the sage. So these are the main themes in this entire chapter. So this is a brief breakup of the entire chapter, wherein in the first few verses, Srila Suta Goswami summarizes the future activities of Parikshit Maharaj, hearing which the sages of Naimisharanya wanted to hear more about Parikshit Maharaj and Krishna. So they inspire Suta Goswami to speak more about Krishna Katha. And then Suta Goswami talks about how Parikshit Maharaj goes to forest for hunting excursion, eventually feeling hunger and thirst, enters into the ashram of a sage, unable to receive any water or any welcome. The king becomes angry, keeps a garland, keeps a snake around the neck of the sage and comes home. As he was feeling repentant for what he has done, the sage, on the other hand, being told by his son, realizes for a small mistake, the king was given huge punishment by his son. So the king was repenting. Both were repenting. The king was repenting as well as the sage was repenting on both the sides. That is the topic of this chapter. So, being requested by the sages of Naimisharanya, who desired to hear about the birth of Parikshit Maharaj, the activities of Parikshit Maharaj, and the circumstances in which he renounced his kingdom and its perfection, his death and perfection. The Suta Goswami has narrated about the birth, about the activities, the important activities punishing Kali, and now he is going to talk about what are the circumstances in which he renounced the kingdom and then eventually he attained perfection. That will be mentioned in these two chapters. So, Suta Goswami begins. Sir. Suta Uvacha Yo Vai Draunastra Viplusto Namatur Udare Mruta Anugrahat Bhagavata Krishnasya Adbhuta Karmana.
Sri Suta Goswami said, due to the mercy of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who acts wonderfully, Maharaj Parikshit, though struck by the weapon of the son of Drona in his mother's womb, could not be burned.
So here in this verse, Suta Goswami is saying that Yovai Drauniastra Viplusto Namatur Udare Mruta. Even though he was burned by the weapon of Drauni, the son of Drona, that was Ashwatthama, the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama, but Namruta Matur Udare, but he did not die in the womb of his mother. Hawai Anugrahat Bhagavata Krishnasya Adbhuta Karmana. From the causeless mercy of Lord Krishna, who performs wonderful activities, Parikshit Maharaj did not die, even though his entire body was burnt by the Brahmastra weapon thrown by Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya. Suta Goswami now speaks in summary about the astonishing story of Parikshit Maharaj's life from birth till attaining to the Lord, to the sages of Naimisharanya, who are very astonished at hearing the punishment of Kali. In the previous two chapters, Suta Goswami spoke about how Parikshit Maharaj punished Kali. Now he is going to summarize the entire life of Parikshit Maharaj in few verses. So then Suta Goswami continues. Brahma kopoti tadyastu takshakat prana viplavat na sammoha rubhyat bhagavati arpitashaya.
Furthermore, Maharaj Parikshit was always consciously surrendered to the personality of Godhead, and therefore he was neither afraid nor overwhelmed by fear due to snake bird, which was to bite him because of the fury of a Brahmana boy.
So that was about birth. At the time of birth, he withstood the fire of Brahmastra. Now at the time of death, he will withstand the fire emanated from the mouth of a snake serpent, Takshaka. So that is indicated here. Brahma Kopa Uttitad estu, being born out of the anger of a Brahmana boy. Who is he? Takshaka. For what purpose? Prana Viplavat. For destroying the life. Na Sammu Moha Rubyat. He did not even bewildered. He was not at all worried, he was not at all bewildered. Even though the Takshaka was produced by the angry Brahmana boy in order to kill him, in order to destroy him, but he was not at all bewildered by that. Because Bhagavati Arpita Ashaya. He was completely surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a result of which he was not at all bewildered by the snake bird which will be produced by the Brahmana boy. Because he had taken shelter of the Lord, King Parikshit did not become bewildered with great fear from the life-threatening snake called Takshaka, called by the curse of the Brahmana boy. So here one thing is that Bhagavati Arpitashaya, since he surrendered completely unto the Supreme Lord. In later one of the verses it comes as Bhagavat Parayana. Narayana Parayana, Bhagavat Parayana, which come later in second canto also you'll get to hear about that. So taking that as a clue, so Prabhupada writes in the purport in this verse only, in this purport, what do you mean by Bhagavat Parayana? What do you mean by Narayana Parayana? What made Parikshit Maharaj to take complete shelter of the Supreme Lord? That is indicated in this purport. A self-surrendered devotee of the Lord is called Narayana Parayana. Such a person is never afraid of any place or any person, not even of death. Such a Narayana Parayana devotee will never worried about anyone, any place, or even death. For him, nothing is as important as the Supreme Lord, and thus he gives equal importance to heaven and hell. He knows well that both heaven and hell are creations of the Lord, and similarly, life and death are different conditions of existence created by the Supreme Lord. But in all conditions and in all circumstances, remembrance of Narayana is essential. The Narayana Parayana practices this constantly. Remembrance of the Lord at all times, at all places. Maharaj Parikshit was such a pure devotee. He was wrongfully cursed by an inexperienced son of a Brahmana who was under the influence of Kali, and Maharaj Parikshit took this to be sent by Narayana. So even death also he accepted as the will of the Supreme Lord. That is the greatness of Narayana Parayana devotee. That's how it is indicated. That's why Parikshit Maharaj is not at all bewildered. Even that snake bird was sent by the curse of the Brahmana boy. So like that. So then Suta Goswami further continues. Usrujya sarvata sangam vijnanajita samsita Vayyasaker Shishyo Gangayam Swam Kalevaram.
Furthermore,
Someone read, please.
Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyasa, Suta Gosvami, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of God.
Yeah. The previous verse said that he was not at all bewildered by the snake bird sent by Ramana Bhakta. Why he was not bewildered? Because he is thoroughly, as he is properly educated by Sri Sukadeva Goswami. He was empowered by Sukadeva Goswami. That is indicated in this verse. Usrujya Sarvata Sangam. When he understood that he will be killed by a snake bird as a result of the curse pronounced by the Brahmana boy, he gave up all his attachments to the kingdom, family members, and the citizens, everything. Vijnana Ajita Samsthiti. Samsthiti means death. Ajita means unconquerable death. For people in general, everyone has to surrender to death. But by attaining the knowledge of the Supreme Lord, the realization of Supreme Lord, Parikshit Maharaj conquered the unconquerable death. So like that. Vayyasakir Jeho Shishyo Gangayam Swam Kalevaram. Having accepted Sukadeva Goswami, who is also known as Vyasaki, on the bank of Ganga as his guru, he has given up his body and became victorious over death. That's how it is indicated. King Parikshit became the student of Sukadeva Goswami and giving up all material association and being situated in realization of the Lord, gave up his body on the bank of the sacred river Ganga. So what is going to happen in the future? Suta Goswami is now in summarily telling everything in briefly 1 or 2 verses. So becoming the pupil of Sukadeva Goswami, Vyasake Shishya, King Parikshit understood the truth about the Supreme Lord, the complete information, complete knowledge, complete understanding of the Supreme Lord. Or Vijnajita Samhita can mean realizing the Lord at the time of death. Vijna Ajita Samsthiti. He completely realized about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ajita, who is also known as Ajita, at the time of death. Or another meaning is that Ajita Samsthiti. Samsthiti is death, Ajita, which is generally unconquerable. But Parikshit Maharaj, being realized about the position of Supreme Lord, about himself, had conquered the unconquerable death. Conquering death means there is no more birth. Surrendering to death means there will be a birth by default. So that is understanding. So this was mentioned in the 12th chapter. When Parikshit Maharaj was born, Yudhishthira Maharaj called for all the Brahmanas to perform Jatakarma ceremony. And some of the astrologers among the Brahmana community, they read the birth chart of Parikshit Maharaj and told what he would do in the future, what will be his qualities, etc. At the end, they also said that Takshaka Atmano Mrutyum Vija Putropasarjita Prapastyata Upasrusha Mukta Sangha Padam Hare. Hearing that he will be killed by Takshaka, who was dispatched by a Brahmana's son, detached from all things, he will worship the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That is mentioned in the previous verse. And what is mentioned in this verse? Jignasitatma yatartyo muner vyasa suta dasau hitvedam rupa gangayam yastati adda kutobayam. O king, having discerned the truth about the Supreme Lord from the son of Vyasadeva, giving up his body on the bank of Ganga, he will certainly attain the Supreme Lord. The previous 2 verses are, we can see in this section, which are mentioned there, are kind of repeated here again. So these verses indicate that Parikshit Maharaj attained the Supreme Personality of Godhead, having taken shelter of Srila Sukadeva Goswami on the bank of Ganga. So that is indicated. So in the purport, in the second page, the Prabhupada writes in somewhere in the middle, Prabhupada writes that knowing the transcendental position of the Lord and the transcendental method by which one can approach that transcendental Dhamma, the king was confident about the ultimate destination, and by knowing this, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. As Lord Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, sorry, chapter 4, text 9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvatah taktva deha punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So he who knows about the transcendental birth and activities of the Supreme Lord will never take birth again upon giving up this body. Where they will go? Vitaraga Bayakroda Manmaya Mapashita Bahavo Jnana Tapsa Huta Madbhava Magata. Madbhava Magata means they will attain my nature, they will attain my Swarupa, they will come to my abode, they will become one of my eternal associates. That will be possible only when one understands about the transcendental birth and activities of the Supreme Lord. So Vijna Ajita Samsthiti. At the time of death, Srila Parikshit Maharaj understood about the complete, the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna completely. So it's like that. Whoever understands about the Supreme Lord like this will also enter into spiritual world. So like that. No, whomsoever, wherever they want to go, not any abode. Wherever they want to go, whomsoever they want to serve, whichever form of the Lord they want to serve, that abode only they will attain. At the end of the purport, Prabhupada further writes, by the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality known as Sukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to know the spiritual position of the unconquerable Lord, Ajita. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literatures. Vedeshu Durlabham, Adurlabham Atma Bhakta. It is very difficult to understand about the nature of the Supreme Lord by reading the Vedic literatures. But by taking shelter of a devotee, one can easily understand about the Supreme Lord. So it's like that. But it is very easy to know him by the mercy of a liberated devotee like Sri Sukadeva Goswami. So it's like. So now further continues. Suta Goswami is further continuing. Little louder, they will hear.
You mentioned that Parikshit Maharaj completely understood the Lord. But it said we can never understood the Lord in completeness. So what does it mean when it says that he understood?
Ye etamam prapadyante tamstaiva bhajamiham. To the extent we show our surrender, to that extent Lord will reveal about himself. So here Parikshit Maharaj completely surrendered. He had no other second thought of this material world. But we have so many other responsibilities, ambitions, and so many other attachments. When we give up everything else, we sit only for Krishna, then Krishna understands that, okay, you are only for me, I'm also only for you. So like that. It is a mutual reciprocation.
It's very difficult.
No, it is very difficult. That's why we continue to stay in the material world only. When we are ready to give up, then he will be ready to take us back home, back to Godhead. So, if as long as a person in the material world gives importance to the material activities, they'll continue in the material world only. If one says that enough is enough, bahut ho gaya. You remember few chapters back in 15th chapter, Yudhishthira Maharaj, having heard that Lord Krishna disappeared, there is one phrase is mentioned. Having understood the endless nature of the material duties, Yudhishthira Maharaj gave up everything and accepting silence started for North. He could have continued as a king, as a religious, generous king for many years, many hundreds of years also. But there is no end to it. There is no end to the material responsibilities. Understanding the endless nature of the material responsibilities, he said, enough is enough. It is Lord's instruction that I need to continue as a king. No, Lord himself is not there. Why should I continue? So he said, enough is enough. He accepted Mauna and then started for North. So it's like that. All the responsibility that we have at our disposal, there will be no end to them. They will be keep coming. So one day we only have to say, enough. I have done enough now. Not here, there. So it is like that.
What is mentioned here is the standard. Can we attain that state?
Yeah,
Because they are the direct associate of Lord Krishna.
So that's why we always hear about these great devotees, the great amount of renunciation that they have displayed at the right time. So that gives us an indication that we should also prepare for it. Our entire life is preparation. When the right time comes, we should also exhibit the same amount of renunciation. If we are not able to do that, means we are not prepared enough. There is some problem in our preparation. If we are prepared thoroughly, we can pass the exam. We can exhibit that renunciation. Obviously, that's what Bhagavatam says. Kama sarva kamova moksha kamo udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena ejeta purusham para. One should perform tivra bhakti. One cannot perform so-called bhakti. Okay, I am in the association of devotees. Everyone is doing. Let me also do. Otherwise, they will not allow me in their company. Not like that. Initially, we may do like that, but unless until we understand the gravity of bhakti, understand the importance of bhakti. We don't take it seriously. Sorry, I myself not practicing seriously, but still I'm saying, I'm just repeating what is in the Bhagavatam. That is the expectation from the reader of Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji, at the time of death, you remember the Lord, then he will have to come in the material.
That's what Lord Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita. Antakalecham mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Sa prayatsa madbhavam nati atra samshaya. Kindly do not have any doubt that if you give up your body remembering me, you will come to my abode. You will become one of my eternal associate. He himself is saying, do not doubt. Nati atra samshaya.
But if we are not physically in condition of remembering him, then he will give us remembrance.
Remembrance is not the activity of the physical body, it is the activity of the mind. Afterwards, yam vapi smaran bhavam tajati ante kalevaram. Tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavita. At the time of death, definitely we may not be able to remember. That's why Lord Krishna tells in the next verse, better remember always. Sada tadbhava bhavita. Whatever we remember now, every moment, that is what we remember at the time of death. If you don't remember Krishna now, we can't remember Krishna at the time of death. Then the next verse Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yuddhacha. Therefore, sarveshu at all places, kaleshu at all time, mam anusmara, remember me. And for Arjuna it is yuddha. For all of us, perform our duties wherever we are. Mai arpita manobuddhir, offering your mind and lens unto me. Ma me veshasi asamshayam. Without doubt you will come to me. If you do that, Krishna many times in the Bhagavad Gita says, without doubt you will come to me, without doubt you will come to me. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Ham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Ma suchaha, do not lament, do not doubt. So he himself is giving assurance. So if we have doubt, no one can help us.
This may in the Bharat Puran also there is no sloka, no? Bharat Puran. Then Lord say, okay, in the old age, if you can't remember, I will help you remember.
Yeah. If we remember him throughout the life, Lord Krishna will create circumstances in such a way that we are forced to remember him at the time of death. Actually. Hare Krishna, devotees online able to follow what we are discussing here? Some
Yes,
hi-fi
Prabhuji.
topic.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So Suta Goswami is further continuing. Having mentioned about what is going to happen for Parikshit Maharaj, in summary, Notama shloka vartanam jushatam tatkatamrutam syas sandamonta kalepi smaratam tatpadambujam.
This was so because those who have dedicated their lives
the topics of the personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, do not run the risk of having misconceptions even at the last moment of their lives.
Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport first line, first sentence says that the highest perfection of life is attained by remembering the transcendental nature of the Lord at the last moment of one's life. This perfection of life is made possible by one who has learned the actual transcendental nature of the Lord from the Vedic hymns sung by a liberated soul like Suta Goswami or someone in that line of disciplic succession. On our own, we can never ever understand about the Supreme Lord. Only by a bona fide spiritual master, we can understand about the Supreme Lord. That is the understanding. So if one practices like this whole life, what will happen at the time of death? That is what is mentioned in this verse. Those who remember the lotus feet of the Lord throughout the life. Smaratam tat padam bhujam. Those who remember Lord's lotus feet throughout the life. Those who relish the nectar of pastimes concerning the Lord. Jushatam tat katamrutam. Those who relish in hearing and discussing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Not in watching TV serials and movies. Or reading novels or something like that. Those who relish, those who experience bliss by hearing and discussing Krishna Katha, Tat Katamrutam. And Those whose very lives are the Lord. Uttama shloka vartanam jushatam tat katamrutam. Whose life is Uttama shloka alone. Whose life and soul is all the Supreme Lord is alone. Na sambramo antakalepi. Such kind of people will not be bewildered at the time of death. Do not have confusion even at the time of death. If one leads a life like this, will have no confusion at the time of death, because that kind of lifestyle will avoid entry into spiritual world without any doubt. So that is assurance. This is not astonishing. This verse gives the reason. Uttama shloka vartana means of those whose cause of living is the Lord. Varta means our vritti, our livelihood. The varnashrama dharma we say, na, that is actually varta. Varta means the duty that we perform. The purpose of living for such kind of people is only Uttama shloka. If Lord is not there in their life, they will not live anymore. Last Sunday I was in Hyderabad. I was discussing appearance of Bhagavatam. So I was talking that when Krishna sent a message through Daruka that I am departing from this world, Lord Krishna sent his chariot to spiritual world. He sent Daruka to Dwaraka, Bet Dwaraka, where the elderly Yadavas are there. So Daruka came there and informed that Lord Krishna disappeared. Just by hearing that news of Lord Krishna's departure, Devaki, Vasudev, Ugrasena, and all other elderly Yadavas, they immediately fell unconscious. They fell dead. For them, if Krishna is there, there is a meaning to their life. If Krishna is not there, no point in living anymore. So they gave up their lives immediately. That's how the devotees feel in the absence of the Supreme Lord. So it's like that. So there is a verse comes in the 10th canto in the prayers offered by Lord Brahma after Brahma Viman Lila. He says that Tavad Ragadayastenas Tavat Kara Gruham Gruham Tavan Mohongr Nigado Yavat Krishna Natejana. As long as we don't become Krishna Jana, till the time we don't become Krishna Jana, whether here in the material world, in the spiritual world, we will be subjected to three things. What are the three things? Tavat Ragadayastena. Our life will be stolen by our attachments. Our attachments to so many material people or material objects will steal away our valuable life. And Tavat Kara Graham Gruham. Our home becomes prison cell, Kara Gruha. And then Tavan Mohongri Nigado. Till then, we are completely submerged in illusion. Moha. So it's like that. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. So this is how a living entity is bound in the material world. The material desires bind us, the material home and material possessions bind us, and material associates bind us. So all these things will bind us as long as one does not become Krishna Jana. So how to become Krishna Jana is mentioned in this verse. Jana means low people. Krishna ka admi. So Vaishnava Jana, something like that. Krishna Jana, one who becomes the family member of Lord Krishna. All the Vaishnavas, all devotees. So in that way. So if one can lead this kind of life, then they will have any doubt of remembering Lord Krishna at the time of death. Whoever remembers Lord Krishna at the time of death, there is no doubt that they will go back home back to Godhead, as Bhagavad Gita says. Further, Suta Goswami continues. Tavat kalirna prabhavet pravishto pihat sarvata yavat isho mahan urvyam abhimanyava ekarat.
As long as the great powerful son of the woman
Little louder, Prabhuji.
explore emperor of the world, there is no chance that the personality of Kali will flourish.
Tavat kalirna prabhavet pravishto apiha sarvata. Though Kali made his entry after the departure of Lord Krishna, but as long as Parikshit Maharaj was ruling, though Kali spread everywhere, he could not even touch a single person. Because Kali was given 5 places where 4 sinful activities are happening. The 5th place where the wealth in the form of gold or any other forms is stored excessively more than required. In all these 5 places, Kali is situated. But there are no such places during Parikshit Maharaj rule. So Kali could not influence anyone as long as he was ruling. That is the greatness of Parikshit Maharaj. After Parikshit punished Kali, what was the situation? The above verse describes. So after his punishment, Kali was not at all influence anybody. Yasmin ahaniyari heva Bhagavan usasarjagam tadaive nanu vrutosao adharma prabhava Kali.
The very day and moment the personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, left this earth, the personality of Kali, who promotes all kinds of irreligious activities, came into this world.
Yeah, it was already mentioned previously. On the day that the Lord left the earth, at that very instant, Kali, the source of religion, entered the world. Though he entered, but he could not influence all around. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes one interesting feature. Because it is a duty, the taking the reference in the previous word, Prabhupada said that the duty of the ruler to check the influence of Kali. But the ruler himself cannot do completely. Ruler also needs the cooperation of the people in the country. That Prabhupada indicates in this verse, in the purport. The personality of Godhead and his holy name, qualities, etc. are all identical. The personality of Kali was not able to enter the jurisdiction of the earth due to the presence of the personality of Godhead. When Lord was there, Kali could not enter. And similarly, if there is an arrangement for the constant chanting of the holy names, the qualities, the pastimes, and the description of Lord's form, there is no chance at all for the personality of Kali to enter. That is the technique of driving away the personality of Kali from the world. In modernized human society, there are great advancements of material science, and they have invented the radio to distribute sound in the air. Prabhupada writing in 60s. This is Prabhupada wrote when he was in Vrindavan only. That time radio was popular. TV was yet to come. So because Prabhupada is mainly talking about the sound. Through advancement of radio, the sound is spread everywhere. People are at one place, they can spread the sound everywhere. So instead of vibrating some nuisance sound for sense enjoyment, if the state arranges to distribute transcendental sound by resounding the holy name, fame, and activities of the Lord, as they are authorized in the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, then a favorable condition will be created. The principles of religion in the world will be re-established. And thus, the executive heads who are so anxious to drive away corruption from the world will be successful. The solution for the corruption is
Chanting.
nothing is bad if properly used for the service of the Lord. Prabhupada said that even the radio can be properly used in service of the Lord by propagating the Nama Rupa Gunlila of the Supreme Personality of God, by which Kali can be stopped, corruption can be stopped, and all other things can be stopped. So like that, Prabhupada says. And then the question comes, okay, Kali made his entry when Krishna disappeared. So why did Parikshit Kali's nature is to destroy everyone, disturb everyone, destroy the religion? So why did he not kill Kali? He could have killed it so that there will be no Kali only. It is said that as long as he was there, Kali could not influence. That means afterwards it is influenced, started influencing. Then why did he let him loose? He could have killed him directly. So the reason is given here in this verse. Nanudveshti kalim samrat saranga iva sarabuk kushalani ashu siddhyanti netarani krutani yat.
Maharaj Parikshit was a realist. Like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower, he knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali.
The reason why Parikshit Maharaj did not punish Kali is indicated in this verse. It says that Na anudveshti kalim samrat saranga iva sarabu. The king did not kill Kali because he was like a bee. He was like the saranga, enjoying the honey. Sarabuk. Saranga, the honeybee, travels from place to place. The honeybee might see so many other things, but is only interested in the honey. He goes from flower to flower, only looking for the honey. Same way, though Kali is filled with so many bad qualities, but that Kali also had one good quality. Parikshit Maharaj spotted that good quality of Kali. He did not see the unlimited number of bad qualities. Instead, he saw one good quality. What is that one good quality? Kushalani ashuddhanti netarani kritanicha. For at this time, Parikshit Maharaj understood that in Kali Yuga, the auspicious acts bear results just by deciding to do them. Kushalani asu siddhanti. As soon as one thinks that let me do good to others, that person will get the results of doing good. You don't have to perform. Just by thinking good to others, one will get the results of doing good. On the other side, na itarani kritaniyat. Whereas sinful activities bear results only by undertaking them. Auspicious activities will give the result of performing them just by thinking about doing them. But inauspicious activities will give the results only after performing it. So this is the one good quality of Kali Yuga. So because of that, Parikshit Maharaj did not kill Kali. What was the condition of King Parikshit after punishing Kali? He was like a bee gathering the honey. What was the honey? Just by deciding to do them. Pious activities bear their fruits, whereas the sinful activities bear fruit only when actually performed. As soon as one thinks of doing something good, they will get the results of doing that good. But impious activities bear the results only after doing it. Even if one does not perform a pious act, one gets the result. One does not have to perform the action, but should simply make the decision to perform it. Results come simply by the desire to perform the auspicious activities. Why so? In Kali Yuga, the people who think like that are also very rare. That's why Kali, okay, no problem. I will see who will think like that. Even though thinking good of others bear results, but I will see who will think like that. In general, the default setting of the people of Kali Yuga, the mindset of the people of Kali Yuga is to think about one's own welfare and others fall down, or others' misery. One's own happiness and others' misery. That is the default setting of the people of Kali Yuga. Very rarely we can see that some people are genuinely concerned about others' welfare.
But if we pray for all the people,
That's what I am saying. Those people who pray for all others are very rare. Very rare. So that is a good quality of Kali Yuga. If everyone becomes like that, then Kali Yuga becomes Vaikuntha. Till then, Kali Yuga remains Kali Yuga. This is the The unique quality of Kali Yuga. Even a honeybee also goes from flower to flower. It is not that every flower will have honey. Maybe sometime in the season, in the proper season of rainy season or something, that every flower might be having honey. But otherwise, the honey has to work hard throughout the day to get honey. Honeybee has to go from flower to flower, garden to garden. It has to work hard. Same way, in Kali Yuga also, to get such kind of people also very rare. So Bhagavatam indirectly indicating that, so at least develop this attitude of wishing good for others. Even if we are not able to perform something good for others, at least pray for others or think about others' well-being. That will do good for us, good for them also. Both the ways it will benefit. This is the greatness of Kali Yuga. That's why in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam it says that the great sages worship Kali Yuga. In all other three yugas, the opposite exists. As soon as one thinks bad about others, the results will come. The good one has to perform in other three yugas, but in Kali Yuga it is opposite. That's why the great sages always worship Kali Yuga. Kalim sabhajayanti arya gunajna sara bhagina yatra sankirtanenaiva sarvatartobhi abhi labhyate. Those who are actually advanced in knowledge, those who really understand what is what, who know quality, who have accepted the best, they praise Kali Yuga. Because in this fallen age, all perfection of life can easily be achieved by the performance of Sankirtana. Just by performing Sankirtana, one can benefit oneself, one can benefit one and all. That is a simplistic way of helping one and all in Kali Yuga. In other yugas, it is not so simple. In all other yugas, one need to work hard. In Kali Yuga also, one need to work hard, but that hardship is not as hard as comparable to other three yugas. So it is like that. That's why Parikshit Maharaj did not kill Kali. Because at least there will be some people who will understand what is what, they'll follow and they'll perfect their lives in a easy way. So understanding this, Parikshit Maharaj did not kill the Kali. Hare Krishna, devotees online able to follow. Any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. No questions. Thank you.
Can I
Prabhuji.
Yes, please go ahead.
can I yes, Prabhuji, I
Yes,
couldn't get it properly that what was the good thing in Kali that Parikshit Maharaj did not him. Is it because it was very easy for people to perform bhakti?
No, it's not about bhakti. Even much simpler than that is that in Kali Yuga, one gets the results of doing good just by willing to do some good to others. Even we have not done anything, but just by praying that, okay, let these people become normal, that these people become good, something like that. Just by praying for somebody's good, somebody's well-being, one get the results of doing that good to them. But on the other hand, if somebody thinks of some bad about somebody else, there will be no results unless until one does it. So negatively also there is a lot of scope. So just by thinking negative about someone, there will be no bad reaction unless until one does really good or really bad to others. But in the case of good, just by thinking good to others, one gets the results of doing good without doing good only. So that is the specialty of Kali Yuga. That's why Parikshit Maharaj did not kill Kali.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in because he's thinking the goodness of Kali Yuga, but Kali doesn't have anything to do with whatever. I mean, we were discussing.
No, Kali
If
influences
somebody
everyone.
desires some.
Your
Okay,
voice is
so
not
did
clear,
Kali also
Mataji.
have some? Can you hear me, Prabhu, now?
Yeah, please go ahead, repeat.
Krishna? Yeah, did
have good thoughts. I wanted to know that if Kali also saying like that. Kalipurusha.
See, we cannot follow you what you are saying, but here Bhagavatam says very clearly that just by desiring to do good to others, one gets the results of doing good. And just by desiring to harm someone, one does not get the reaction to the bad thoughts. Unless until one performs bad activities upon others, one does not get the reaction. So in both way, there is benefit. So that's how one can be easily benefited in the Kali Yuga.
But about whom we are thinking good, that person also will be benefited. Good.
Yeah, yes. Because you are making an endeavor to think about somebody else's good. So things will happen to that person also.
Prabhuji,
That will the prayer work.
That's how prayer works. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what about other yugas?
Other yugas, it is opposite. Other yugas, if one need to benefit others, one need to do actually. Just by thinking, one does not get the results or one does not benefit others. One need to do the activity to benefit others. And on the other hand, just by thinking bad about others, one gets the reaction for thinking bad. So it is like that. Even without doing bad to others, just by thinking bad about others, one would get the bad reaction. So that is in other yugas. Loud project.
If you think good about others, may happen or may not, but it will lead to happen a good thing. If you think bad, it also may happen. I mean, it lead to happen some bad thing on the person, from the opposite person.
No, I don't know. Bhagavatam is saying very clearly. Auspicious acts bear results just by deciding to do them. Results for whom? If we think of doing something good to others, even before doing that, good will happen to that person, and the result of doing good to somebody else will happen to us. Both will happen. On the other hand, sinful activities bear results only by undertaking them, not by simply thinking. Only after performing, the results will take place. So it is very clear. I am not saying anything. Bhagavatam is only saying. So it is like that.
Like it said that Kadyuga said this one good quality, but at least this find the sin personified, then how come we develop this good quality? Or Lord has given him that benediction.
Sorry, what is question? Sorry.
No, it is one good quality in Kali Yuga. Kali may not have this good quality, but in Kali Yuga, this is a what you can say. It is like
in a train, there is third class compartment. There is also AC compartment. Then that train.
Not exactly like that. So when there is everything bad around, but there is one good quality. Kalayar dosha nidhe rajan asti eka mahan guna. Kali is filled with so many unlimited variety of bad qualities, but there is one good thing in Kali Yuga. That is, okay, that's why I mentioned that, because to find such kind of people who want good for others are very rare in Kali Yuga. It is as good as not existing only. So it is not, generally it is not there. Having such kind of quality is very, very, very rare. Genuinely concerned about others' well-being is very rare. One may be concerned about others' well-being if that activity is going to give one the name and fame. There could be some selfish motive in that also. But without any selfish motive, without any recognition, one is genuinely concerned about others' well-being. That kind of thought process is very, very, very rare in Kali Yuga. Like that, we should see. There are many welfare workers outside in the society. But how many among them are really or genuinely concerned about others' well-being? That is very rare. So that is a rare quality in Kali Yuga. It may not be the quality of Kali Yuga, but since, as a matter of fact, Kali Yuga is supposed to be very dangerous, but in the danger also, there is some hope, a ray of hope. That ray of hope is because of this good quality. So like that we should see.
Also that like you say like this, that just by thinking do good. Many people will make an excuse to actually doing, rather than doing good, they will say I'm thinking about good.
It's okay, na? Something is better than nothing. That's what I'm saying. Thinking like that also very rare. It is very, very, very rare, bro. It's not that easy. We may say that I am the well-being, I'm here for the welfare of others. When we have to introspect, are we genuinely that? Are we genuinely wishing welfare of others without expecting anything in return? Without any selfish motive, selfish ambitions? We need to introspect that.
Besides selfish motive, attachment should be also there. Attachment for that person, particular person.
Not required, without any attachment, without concern about that person. Just wish good for others. What is so special about wishing good for your relative? That anyway you have natural affection is there. Because of affection you are playing for him. When wishing for the good of enemy, then you think of that. Can anyone pray for the well-being of the enemy?
Will lead to act also.
Huh?
This thinking man will lead to act also. We will practicing thinking for good for others.
No.
Then one day we may act.
It's okay, na? Make till you make it, fake till you make it. First let us act, then one day it becomes real. So that is very rare. That is the intent here.
Very nice. Amazing.
And by the way, it is there for your exam. Kindly memorize. So then, in the next verse, he says that, okay, this is the case, then everyone must be benefited. Kushalani Ashuddhanti. The auspicious activity bear fruit immediately by thinking about it, then everyone will be benefited. So Kali will have no influence in Kali Yuga. Then the next sloka Suta Goswami says, Kimnu Baleshu Surena Kalina Dira Dhibiruna Apramatta Pramatteshu Yovrukon Rushu Vartate.
Less intelligent man might find the personality of Kali to be very powerful, that those who are self-controlled have nothing to fear. King was powerful like a tiger and took care for the foolish, careless persons.
Yeah. Kali was an attentive tiger among the inattentive men. Those people who are indifferent to Kali. We say that Kali Yuga has come. What Kali Yuga? When Corona came, in the initial days, the virus is spreading all around. Government norms where we have to put mask and all, always keep the sanitizer, etc. What Kali will do, and what Corona will do to me? I will not wear mask. I will not have sanitizer, something like that. Such kind of people are affected, and they got their entire family got affected, something like that. For those people who are inattentive, Kali is very much attentive to affect such kind of people. But what could powerful Kali do to the innocent people, since he was afraid of the devotees? The devotees are said to be innocent because the devotees are not evil-minded. Such kind of innocent devotees are there, but Kali is afraid of such kind of innocent people, innocent devotees. So, like that. The king had another intention. Was there a disturbance to the foolish people by Kali? There was none, because Kali had the fear of devotees, those who were discerned in nature. Kali was a powerful tiger among the innocent. Even though Kali is so powerful, he is always attentive to the innocent, inattentive people, but for devotees, Kali cannot harm. For innocent and simple mind, simple hearted people, Kali cannot harm. Only for the cripple minded people, Kali is always there to serve them. So, something like that. Upavarnitam etadva. Yes, bro.
In the translation.
Yes, bro.
other person consider that less intelligent might find a personality to be very powerful. But that those who are self-controlled, who have nothing to fear. Can you just elaborate on that? One, those who are self-controlled.
Same thing. Corona example. When Corona came, the people who are not aware about Corona, just whoever heard that as soon as the coronavirus come, they'll die. The people who are not in knowledge of Corona, what it is all about, they're really afraid of Corona. They might started taking up all the other precautionary measures very seriously, etc. But people in knowledge of Corona, they tackle it very simply, just by wearing mask and following sanitizer, not touching anything here and there. The person knowledge always does things in a vigilant way, but others, they can go in two extremes. Some people might take it lightly. Some people might take it too dangerous. So the two category of people are disturbed, but in between people who have knowledge about what it is, they are not disturbed by it. So
yeah, the word self-control is why that is like that means we what do they self-control?
No, dear devotees, we should take them as devotees. Those who are self-controlled would have nothing to fear. The devotees who depend upon the Lord, who take shelter of the Lord, so they don't have to fear anything about Kali. So in that way. In one of the previous classes, we discussed about Kali means Adharmam Dharmamiti. The natural characteristic of Kali Yuga is to make people think Dharma to be Adharma, Adharma to be Dharma. That kind of people are callous about practicing bhakti and other activities. So they are naturally become infected by the influence of Kali. But the devotees who know what is what, so they are careful about doing the right thing. In that way, they are protected. So then Suta Goswami further continues. Upavarnitam etadva punyam parikshitam maya vasudeva kataupetam akyanam yad apurchata.
O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narration about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaj Parikshit.
Yeah, I have described to you what you have asked concerning pure Parikshit, which is related to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So in the past, Suta Goswami promised, after describing how Bhagavatam appeared, then before beginning the events leading to birth of Parikshit Maharaj, he said that I will speak about the birth, I will speak about the activities, I will speak about the death of King Parikshit and the death march of the Pandavas, which will all these events give rise to the discussions about Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha Udayam. The birth of Parikshit Maharaj, the activities of Parikshit Maharaj, the death of Parikshit Maharaj, the retirement of Pandavas, all these activities lead to Krishna Katha. I will narrate all those activities in sequence, since they are all directly connected to Krishna Katha. It's like that. So why one need to hear the activities of Krishna and his devotees? Because they are non-different. The activities of the devotees lead to the activities of Supreme Lord. The activities of Supreme Lord lead to the activities of the devotees. We cannot discuss Narsingadev separately without discussing Prahlad Maharaj. We cannot discuss Lord Krishna separately without discussing the activities of Lord Krishna's devotees, whether Pandavas or Yadavas or Brajavasis. So both go hand in hand. So in that way. That's what is indicated in the next verse. Ya ya kata bhagavata kataniyoru karmana gunakarma shraya pumbi samsevyastu bubhushu.
Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life must submissively hear all topics that are connected with the transcendental activities and quality of the personality of Godhead, who acts wonderful.
Those who desire their own benefit should hear those topics. What are the topics? The topics about the devotees, the topics about the Supreme Lord. Concerning the qualities and activities of the Lord, who performs greatest activities. Guna, karma, ashraya, Pumbi. The living entities of this material world, in order to attain the highest benefit for their own life, should take shelter of the guna and karma of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some sevayas, they should worship, they should hear, speak, and remember the wonderful qualities and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only that one thing will benefit them. Bubu Shubi, Bubu Ashubi. That only will bring them auspiciousness. Otherwise, nothing else. Bubu Shubi means by those who desire their own good. To do anything other than this is simply a waste of one's life. Other than hearing Krishna Katha, speaking Krishna Katha, meditating upon Lord's pastimes or devotees' pastimes, all other activities are waste of one's life. Like that is killing. If you remember, there is one thing mentioned in the first canto, second chapter. What was that verse? No. What was the beginning? How did it begin? How is that Sramayevai Kevalam? Dharma Swan Shuta Pumsha Vishwaksena Katasuya Na Utpadaya Didiratim Sramayevai Kevalam. Whatever other activity that we may perform, if that activity is not leading to attachment to Krishna Katha, all those activities are simply a wasted labor. Sramayevai Kevalam. So like that. Whether directly or indirectly, we should perform all the activities so that they will increase our attachment to Supreme Lord. That is the understanding. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes, the systematic hearing of the transcendental activities, qualities and names of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna pushes one towards the eternal life. Systematic hearing means knowing him gradually in truth and in fact. And this knowledge, this knowing him in truth and fact means attaining eternal life, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha taktva deha punarjanma naiti mameti. So aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha itiyo mam ye bijanati tattve natas chevantite. Those who know this about me, they will never fall down. Tattve natas na chevantite. So in that way. Such transcendental glorified activities of Lord Sri Krishna are the prescribed remedy for counteracting the process of birth, death, old age and disease, which are considered to be material awards for the conditioned living entities. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi are the awards given by the material nature. The culmination of such a perfectional stage of life is the goal of human life and the attainment of transcendental bliss. That is basically going back home back to Godhead and becoming one of the eternal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's like that. So that is the purpose. That is the purpose of hearing Krishna Katha, hearing the pastimes of Lord's wonderful devotees. So in that way. So then Suta Goswami stops. So you asked me, talk about Sukadeva Parishit Maharaj. I spoke about Parishit Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Bhagavatam class is ended. Then the sages of Naimisharanya, in order to, with the intention to hear more and more, they inspire Suta Goswami to speak more and more about Parishit Maharaj, more and more about Sukadeva Goswami. So thus, they are inspiring Suta Goswami now. Rushaya Uchu Suta Jiva Sama Saumya Shashvatir Vishadam Yasha Yastvam Samshati Krishnasya Martyanam Amrutam Hina.
The good sages said, O grave Suta Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame. For you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us.
Yeah, it says that, O auspicious Suta, live for eternal years. Shashwatir Vishadam Yasha. May you live long with fame, name and fame. Since you narrate to us, who are mortals, the shining glories of Lord Krishna. Since you are discussing Krishna Katha, may you continue to live for long life. So that is the blessing they are pronouncing upon Suta Goswami. Why? What is so special about discussing Krishna Katha and hearing Krishna Katha? That they continue to state now. Karmani asmin anashvase dhumra durmapnanam bhavan apayati govinda pada padmasavam madhu.
We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire without certainty of its result due to many imperfection in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of lotus feet of personality of Godhead, Govinda, which you are distributing. Hare Krishna.
So in the first chapter, it was mentioned that Satram Sargaya Lokasya Sahasram Samamasata. With an intention to go to Swarga, the sages have assembled in the Naimisharanya in order to perform a fire sacrifice. So in that fire sacrifice, they got the association of Romar Suta, who was speaking Puranas. But immediately Balramji came and so many things happened and Romar died. His son Ugra Suta was sent to Gurukula Vyasdev to study. So he went to Gurukul, he studied. Then he heard everything from the different disciples of Vyasdev. He went to Shukatal. He heard from Sukadeva Goswami, wherein he spoke Bhagavatam for 7 days. Then he again came to Naimisharanya. Now they are hearing from Suta Goswami in that place where in between they were performing fire sacrifice. Now they are saying that, my dear Suta, we were performing all these days the fire sacrifice. We don't know whether it is really going to award us the benefit expected results or not. But on the other hand, we see that our faces are becoming black every day by the performance of fire sacrifice. But after you have come here, having heard from you the last 17 chapters, at least Suta Goswami spoke 16 chapters. First chapter the sages spoke, the remaining 16 chapters Suta Goswami is speaking. Having heard from you for so long, we have understood the glories of hearing Krishna Katha over performing fire sacrifice. We are not sure whether the performance of fire sacrifice will yield the expected results, but hearing Krishna Katha certainly. Therefore, please continue speaking Krishna Katha more and more. Don't stop it abruptly. Don't say that I have answered all your questions. Okay, we'll end the Bhagavatam class now. Not like that. Please continue to speak Krishna Katha. You let us, blackened by the smoke at this uncertain sacrifice, drink the intoxicating nectar of the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. So the understanding is, at this performance of fire sacrifice, which is not credible because the result cannot be guaranteed due to many irregularities. In the performance of fire sacrifice, there are so many irregularities. One thing is, the mantras may not be pronounced properly, the ingredients may not be proper, the time may not be proper, the place may not be proper. Like there are so many other dependent factors are there for performing fire sacrifice. But for hearing Krishna Katha, discussing Krishna Katha, there are no such dependent factors. So like that he continues. Whereas the results of bhakti are certain, therefore, may you let us, whose eyes and other bodily limbs are discolored by the smoke, drink the nectar of Krishna Katha. Drinking the nectar shows that the results of bhakti are directly attained. We can actually experience bliss just by hearing it. Then what will happen if we really practice? Like that they are expressing their astonishment. It is intoxicating honey. since it gives us the experience of happiness and distress, which is present in everything else. And since it gives us the experience of sweetness of the Lord. By performing any other activity, there is the experience of happiness and there is experience of distress in executing that. But in the case of bhakti, there is only experience of the sweetness of Lord's lotus feet. There is no experience of material happiness and material distress. So that is the unique feature of bhakti. So like that. So they are saying that please do not stop. Please don't say that Bhagavatam class is over. Please continue. Please continue. Don't stop it here. Like that, they are requesting and inspiring Suta Goswami to speak more and more. Why? Now they are going to give the reason. We were performing the fire sacrifice to go to Swarga, or maybe the intention of going to Apavarga, Brahman. But the nectar which you are distributing is nowhere comparable to the happiness of Swarga or Apavarga. That they are stating in the next verse. Tulayamala venapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavas sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashisha.
The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter, or what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death.
Yeah. Here they are telling that let us not compare even a particle of devotee association to the happiness of Swarga, the happiness of Apavarga. What to speak of any other ordinary material blessings. So like that. Because it is only in the association of devotees one get to hear about Krishna. So in that way, they are saying this. We speak of the glories of that great ocean of association of such devotees as you from whatever realization we have. So Suta Goswami might ask that what is so special about my speaking this Krishna Katha? You people are performing great yajna, busy with the performing that. Please continue with that. Why you want to hear more and more? What is so special about that? Then they say that please hear about our understanding. Whatever little we have heard from you, based on that, what we have understood is this one. We should not compare the results of karma that is going to Swarga. We should not compare the results of jnana that is going to Brahman, attain liberation. Even with a small particle of association of devotees, Bhagavad Sangi. Even a fraction of association of devotees cannot be compared with the heavenly opulences or Brahmananda. Why? We will not even compare the blessings of this world, such as kingdom, with the association of great devotee. That is because by association with pure devotees, the sprout of bhakti, which is most rare, appears. It is only by the association of devotees, the bhakti bija will appear in the heart of the hearer. Otherwise, the bhakti bija will never appear by the performance of karma, jnana, yoga, and tapasya, austerities, this, that, all other things will never cause the birth of bhakti in the heart of a devotee. Only in the association of devotees, the bhakti will manifest in the heart of the hearer. There is no other way. So like that, they are telling. Let us not compare even the full results of karma and the full results of jnana with a particle of association of devotees doing sadhana bhakti. Even the association of devotees who are doing sadhana bhakti also cannot be compared to the full blessings of karma, full blessings of jnana, ashtanga yoga. Then what to speak of the extended association? If you get to have the association of the sadhana bhaktas for longer time, what kind of benefit you can award? And then what to speak of the association of a devotee having bhava? then what to speak of the benefit of associating a devotee having prema, which is not at all imaginable. Like that, they are glorifying the association of devotees, because it's only in the association of a devotee who is practicing sadhana bhakti or bhava bhakti or prema bhakti, the bhakti will manifest in the heart of the hearer. Otherwise, there is no other way. One does not compare a mustard seed to Mount Meru. The benefits of practicing karma, practicing jnana is like the mustard seed. The benefit of associating a devotee is like the Mount Meru. Meru Shikarina Maham. Among the mountains which have long peaks, I am Meru, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So it is like that. Association with devotees is like the Mount Meru. Association with the people who are practicing karma, jnana, yoga is like the mustard seed. Because all other sadhanas does not produce bhakti. But bhakti can produce bhakti in the heart of the hearer. So,
Also, the amazing thing is like even the sadhana bhaktas are given that comparison to all the karma practices. That is like really shocking.
because even sadhana bhaktas also will help others to practice start bhakti.
Yes.
So even they also can inspire others to start bhakti. So no need to. Hare Krishna, devotees online able to follow what is being presented in the Bhagavatam?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
The plurals, the plural tense is used in this verse in order to indicate that no one can disprove this fact, since this is the consensus of many persons. So the plural tense is indicated in this verse to indicate that this is approved by many devotees of the past. It is not that I am only stating this. Everyone has approved in the past. Bhagavad Sangi Sangasya is mentioned in the following verse also. Na tatasya bhaven moho bandhas chanya prasangata yoshis sangat yata pumsho yata satsangi sangata. This is a verse which comes in the third canto Bhagavatam, which has correlation with this verse. Here it is said that the infatuation and bondage which occur to a man from attachment to any other object is not as comparable as that resulting from the attachment to a woman or to the fellowship of a member who are fond of women. So this is a chapter from third canto where Lord Kapila is teaching Mother Devahuti, in which he says that what is the mentality of people in the mode of passion? What are the activities in the mode of passion? The people in the mode of passion are very much fond of association with opposite sex. They may have association with so many other objects, but all other objects do not bind the person to the extent that association with women binds. Even more worse than that is association with a man who is fond of women. So that is indicated there. The infatuation and bondage which occur to a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from the attachment to a woman or attachment to a fellowship of a men who are fond of women. So now on the contrary, in converse, it is mentioned here that this verse says that more than association with women, association with those who are associate with women is condemned. The bondage caused by the object is minimal. The bondage caused by the woman is more. But the bondage caused by the man who are fond of women is the most. That is the most condemned association. Okay. Thus, the intention of the verse is to show that association of the devotees of the Lord is more praiseworthy than the association with the Lord. That's why the devotees always pray for the association of devotees. In the fourth canto, if you see, the devotees like Dhruva Maharaj, devotees like Prithu Maharaj, devotees like Prachetas, they only prayed for the association of devotees. Even though Lord appeared, they are not asking, my dear Lord, you be with us. They are not praying like that. They say that, please give us the association of devotees. Because it is in the association of devotees, one can get more and more and more and more bliss of practicing bhakti. Not otherwise. So, like that. So, that is what is indicated here in this verse. Yavatte maya sprushta brahmamaya karmabhi tavat bhavat prasanganam sangasyanno bhave bhave. Because of our past karmas, if we are supposed to take birth again and again, no problem, we'll take birth again and again. Prajas are praying to Lord Vishnu. But wherever we may take birth, please give us the birth in the association of your devotees. Tavat bhavat prasanganam sangasyanno bhave bhave. Even though we may take birth again and again, no problem, my dear Lord. Let's give us birth in the association of your devotees. Then Lord asks, why? What is so special about the association of my devotees? Why not my association? Then the Prajita say that, Yatredyante katamrushta. In the association of your devotees, you are worshipped by discussing Krishna Katha, by discussing Bhagavat Katha, by discussing Hari Katha. So what is so special about Hari Katha? What is so special about that worship? Yatredyante katamrushta Krishnaya prashamoyata. In that association, when your worship is done by glorifying your wonderful qualities and activities, one thing happens. Krishnaya prashamoyata. Shama means to control. Prashama means to completely control. What is completely controlled? Krishna. The material hankering, the material desires are completely controlled. While hearing Krishna Katha, no one will think of material ambitions. One only thinks of, let me become the servant of 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 the gopis. That's what Maharaj says in every class. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Dasanu Das. When that is being heard more and more in the class, one always think of that only. One will not think of becoming boss of the boss of the boss of the boss. Not like that. At least while the class is going on. May not be afterwards, but while the class is going on, one obviously will think of that. Let me also become like that. Let me also become like that. Krishnaya prashamoyata. This is the first benefit. Then what is the second benefit? Nirvaira yatra bhuteshu. One will have no more enmity with the other devotees. In our practical dealings, we may feel other people are envious to us. We may also have enmity feeling towards us. But at least in the classes, while the class is going on, we hear that Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All the living entities are my eternal fragmental parts and parts. Then how does one envy other part of the Lord? One will not, at least while class is going on, one will not have enmity towards other living entities. Instead, they will think that Dasanu Das. Let me be the servant of the servant of the servant of everyone. And Nodvega Etra Kashana. There will be no Udvega. There will be no anxiety. What will happen tomorrow? What will happen next? What will, at least for the class is going on, let me be here. Let me hear Krishna Katha. What will, let it happen, whatever happens afterwards. Krishna is there, he will take care. Krishna is in control. He will take care of everything. Krishna, that's what in the Bhagavad they say that Sarva Dharman Paritejya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Ham Tam Sarvapapibhyo Moksheshcham Masucha. I will take care of you, don't worry. Yoga Kshemam Vamyam. Ananya Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripas Tesham Nityabhyuktanam Yoga Kshemam Vamyam. No need to think about what is going to happen, this, that. Let me focus on Krishna Katha. Let me focus on serving Krishna like that. At least while the class will go only in the association of devotees. So that's why they say that let us want to be in the association of devotees continuously. So that Krishna Katha will go on continuously. So that we are free from all these material impurities continuously. This is the desire of the devotees. So like that. So now the sages are continuing to speak, to inspire Suta Goswami so that he can continue to speak Krishna Katha. So in couple of verses, they actually bring out the essence of the Krishna Katha, essence of hearing Krishna Katha and speaking Krishna Katha. Ko nama trupyed rasavit kathayam mahattamaikanta parayanasya nantam gunanam gunasya jagmor yogeshwaraye bhava padma mukhya.
The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter of all great living beings, and his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar even be fully satiated by hearing topics about him?
So here, the sages of Naimisharana is saying that what knower of rasa would be satisfied with the topics of the Lord, who is the sole supreme shelter of the greatest devotees. Even those who are masters of yoga and the devatas headed by Brahma and Shiva cannot find an end to the spiritual qualities of the Lord, who is without material qualities. When Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Ananta, they cannot come to the end of the glories of Supreme Lord, which knower of rasa, which devotee will say that enough is enough? Whatever I heard is enough. I don't want to hear anymore. Which devotee will say like that? Which knower of rasa will say that? A person who is anticipating to have amras, how will they be satisfied with one glass of amras? They want to have more and more. So something like that. Konamat ruped rasavit katayam. Rasavit. The people who know how to relish rasa, who how to relish Krishna Katha, will ever say, okay, enough is enough. They want to hear more and more continuously. Same way they are saying that somehow or other by good fortune we have got the taste of Krishna Katha by your association. Please don't stop. Please continue. Please continue. Please discuss further. Like that, they are trying to inspire Suta Goswami to speak more and more Krishna Katha. It's like that. This should be the temperament of a devotee. It is true that association of devotees is praiseworthy because without that, one cannot attain a taste for hearing about Lord Krishna. In the association of devotees, two things happen. One thing, they glorify the glories of hearing Krishna Katha. Then they discuss Krishna Katha. First, they speak about the glories of Krishna Katha to develop the appetite in the hearer. When they receive the necessary appetite, then they speak Krishna Katha. Then no one will say that enough is enough. Like Maharaj talk in Yatras especially, when he speaks about pastime, he comes to a what you can say, an excitement. He comes to the crescendo of the pastime. Then he says, should I continue? Because he comes to the climax, not even climax. He comes to what we can say actually crescendo. It's like now everyone is eagerly waiting. What is going to happen next? What is going to happen next? That time Maharaj says, should I continue or stop? Then who would say that stop, stop, stop? So he would continue like that. In one Vrindavan Yatra, the introduction class, Maharaj started talking about the 6 Goswamis, about their activities, about the deities connected to the 6 Goswamis, about the establishing the deities in Vrindavan area. Rupa Goswamis, Radha Govindji, Sanatana Goswamis, Radha Gopal, what do you call? Radha Madan Mohan. It was Radha Madan Gopalji actually originally, became Radha Madan Mohanji afterwards. And Raghunath Das Goswami's activities and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami's activities and deities. Like that, was speaking. And Maharaj keep on asking, should I continue? The devotee saying, yes, please, Haribol, Haribol. The class went up to 4 o'clock in the evening. Started morning 9:30, 10 o'clock. It went up to 4 o'clock. And some devotees are standing in the queue for prasadam. And they are hearing class, and they are also saying Haribol, Haribol. The class was going on all the way up to 3:30, 4 o'clock. Then 4 o'clock, lunch prasadam served to everyone. So it's like that. They are already standing in the queue, anticipating class will end for prasadam will begin, but they are also saying that Hari bol, Hari bol. So it's like that. Because Maharaj would ask at a particular place where no one could ever dare to say, okay, enough is enough. Not like that. Of course, it is Maharaj, no one will say. But even the point at which Maharaj asked, they're eagerly, they hooked on to past time. They want to know what is going to happen now. Then Maharaj would say, should I continue? So that is the glory of Krishna Katha. If one really got the taste of Krishna Katha, one will never say that no, enough is enough. They would want to hear more and more, listen more and more. It's like that. It is true that association of devotees is praiseworthy because without that association of devotees, one cannot attain a taste for hearing about Lord Krishna. It is only in the association of devotees we develop the taste to hear Krishna Katha. Otherwise, it is not possible. It is only in the association of devotees, especially if you remember in the past, Gaur Purnima, the lecture would start morning at 8:30. It would go, Maharaj would speak and some of the Maharaj's associates, God brothers, they would speak. The class would go all the way up to evening 6:30. Then Abhishek will start. After Abhishek, briefly, devotees all will go down and have neem juice. And again, class would continue. The class would go on all the way up to 8:30, 9 o'clock. Then prasadam will be served. In the night, 8:30, 10, prasadam would be served. At least in the past. I came here in the year 2006. I remember that. Gaur Purnima. First time in the history without eating anything, staying all the way up to evening 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Prasadam was served after 9:30. And that to a huge queue. And by the time we come to Prasadam, it will be like 10:30. So it's like that. That's how one becomes immersed in Krishna Katha. Only if they have taste for it. Otherwise, it will be difficult. And especially when we hear from personalities like His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, obviously, when we look around, when everyone is hearing, how can I become odd man out? Let me extend some more time, some more time, some more time. Even though may not be willingly, but by that cumulative effect, it will go on. One does not feel that one feeling angry or one is not having any energy. It goes on. That is the effect of association.
Remember that Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj's class, Maharaj gave 5 hours continue on Sunday feast.
Yes. Yamuna Mataji also, upon the disappearance of Yamuna Mataji, class went on all the way up to evening. It went up to evening 5:36. It's like that. Prabhuji might have had experience. In the past, Sunday feast classes used to go like that. We did not witness that in the past. It used to be like that.
Bhakti Vaibhav will come and dance. You lead the Gaur Aarti. He would lead all the kirtans. Then you go and take a bath because he would become fully wet. Then you start Sunday feast. Evening you will take lunch.
Yes. I heard that Maharaj would lead Guru Puja after Darshan Arati, and Guru Puja will go all the way up to 9 o'clock. For 1 hour it go ecstatic dance and all. Then Maharaj would briefly go out and come back and take Bhagavatam class, which would go all the way up to 11, 12. Then the devotees will have small time for breakfast. They should quickly go down, take breakfast and come back by 12:30. Because Maharaj would personally lead Rajbhog Arti Kirtan. And that Kirtan would go all the way up to 1:32. Then Maharaj would briefly go for 2 minutes and come back and Sunday feast class would start. That would go all the way up to 5, 5:30, 6. Then the devotees will have lunch prasadam at 6. Sunday lunch feast at 6 p.m. That will be like dinner. And then they would again come back. Maharaj would lead Gaur Arati at 7 p.m. That would go on till 8 o'clock when until altar closes. Then Maharaj would come and sit on the Vyasasana. The devotees will surround him and they discuss some chit chat for some time. Then they will have Shayan Arati. Then they would go home. One full day completely packed. That was the Sunday feast in the past.
We used to sit here only. Here, this was the classes, Bola classes.
Bola classes.
Outside that would be a group sitting. Reach home 11 o'clock, family would get really frightened.
In one of the Brahmosత్సవ festival, some devotees are sharing. I think Dwarkadish Prabhu only shared that. Hey, what you people do on Sundays? You people leave early in the morning, that you get up, take bath quickly and leave by 4 o'clock, catching a train in order to come to Mangalarti. And you people come late in the night around 11 to 12. What you people do in the temple for the entire day? Temple, we go casually, we offer a coconut and sit there for 5 minutes and come back. Half an hour at max. But you people go early in the morning before everyone gets up, come back after everyone sleeps. What do you do throughout the Sunday? What's happening in temple? So they cannot figure out what these people are doing like this. So that's what association is intoxicating. One can do all these things only in the association of devotees. One cannot do alone.
Yes.
That is the intoxicating effect of so it's like that. Hare Krishna, devotees are able to follow what we are discussing here. We are missing all of you.
Yes,
All of you should
Yes,
You can follow.
we can follow.
We are enjoying.
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Hare
for sharing.
Krishna. Yes.
So here the sages of Naimisharan is saying that if a person is knowledgeable about rasa, how can he be satisfied with the discussion of that person who is the soul and the supreme shelter of the greatest devotees? If a person really understands rasa, how can a person become satisfied by hearing about Krishna this much? They want to hear more and more about Krishna. They want to taste rasa more and more. They cannot be satisfied by hearing little bit, little bit. That is one of the symptom of bhava. Avyartha kalatvam. Namagane sada ruchi. Another quality. They do not want to waste even a single moment in other activities. They always want to do namagane sada ruchi. They are always eager to hear about Nama Rupa Gunlila of the Supreme Lord. This indicates the greatest sweetness of Krishna. His great power is then indicated. The masters of yoga also cannot find an end to the spiritual qualities of the Lord, who is without material qualities. Bhava, Padma, Mukhya. The great personalities such as Lord Shiva. Bhava means Lord Shiva. Padma means Lord Brahma, who appeared from the lotus flower. Even other personalities such as Ananta Shesh, if they are not able to find to an end to discuss Krishna Katha, the great people who have so many other great responsibilities to do, they are not willing to give up Krishna Katha. How can we ordinary people who don't have anything to do can give up Krishna Katha, hearing Krishna Katha? I mean to say, in comparison to their responsibilities, our responsibilities are very small. But those people are hooking on to hearing Krishna Katha. They are trying to find out where the opportunity comes to hear Krishna Katha. Then how much eager we must be. So like that, the sages of Naimisharanya are saying. They are trying to inspire Suta Goswami to speak more and more. So it is like that. Like that, one should have eagerness to hear Krishna Katha. That eagerness to hear Krishna Katha will only come when we are freed from anarthas. As long as we are still troubled by anarthas, it is very difficult to continue hear Krishna Katha. The body pains, the mind gets distracted, especially as long as the mobile is there in the hand. It is very difficult to hear to Bhagavatam class for 1 hour, for half an hour at least, without looking into mobile. In between, there is some vibration comes, some message has come, some alert will come, etc. So much distraction in the current day. In those days, I think most of the devotees might not be having mobiles. Even if they had mobile also, that is button phone only. Mobile also came later, much later only. 2020, 2000, 2001, 2002, only the mobile became popular in India. Before that, there was no mobile only. So if they have come to temple, means they are there in the temple. No distraction in one sense. Unless until their children cries. If the small children are there. Otherwise, no distraction. But now we have so many distractions, so many distractions. We voluntarily took those distractions. Even many times when we are doing japa also, this is my personal experience. We get distracted by mobile, so many calls. Because of some department services, many times we keep the mobile. Some emergency might come, thinking like that. But many times we don't want to have the mobile, at least during japa, the 2 hours, morning 5:45 to 7:45. So that japa will be completed in the morning. So rest of the day will be anxiety free, something like that. It should not be like that, but at least otherwise japa will remain. So throughout the day, I mean, so many other things here and there, japa will not go properly. In Pune Yatra, no mobile. Mobile is not allowed. It's like that. It should be like that.
One of the devotees was saying, if you are not able to complete your till 11, then you will be continuing a japa till 11 in the night. Or after that also.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. So, I mean, see, of course, we are not denying that we have all the responsibilities, we need to take care of them. But Bhagavatam intention is to give us the prime importance to bhakti. Unless until we give prime priority to bhakti, all other things will take away our time. So in that way. So now they are continuing further. Hare Krishna, any questions from devotees online? Able to follow what we are discussing?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Tanno Bhavan Vai Bhagavat Pradano Mahatamaikanta Parayanasya Harerudaram Charitam Vishuddham Tushrushatam no Vidunoti Vidvan.
O Suta Goswami, you are a learned and pure devotee of the Lord, because the personality of Godhead is your chief object of service. Therefore, please describe to us the pastimes of the Lord, which are above all material conception, for we are anxious to receive such messages.
They are expressing their desire to hear. Susrushatamno Vidunot Vipram Vidvan. O Vidvan, O highly knowledgeable, highly intelligent Suta Goswami, Vidunoti, Vidunotu. We are eager to know about the Lord more and more. How we want to know about the Lord? By hearing about him more and more. Susrushatamno. We are eager to hear more and more because we want to know about the Lord more and more. That eagerness should be there. Hearing should be with the intention to know about the Lord more and more. That's what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvataha. Veti tatvataha. In order to know the Lord in tatvataha, you need to hear about Lord more and more. Without hearing, we will never. So it's like that. Oh, learned one, you are the one who prominently serve the Lord among all of us. Among all of us who are sitting in the Naimisharanya, you are the best among all of us. You are that devotee who are taken shelter of the Lord completely. We are not like you. We also want to become like you. Therefore, please speak more about the Supreme Lord so that we also become like you by hearing about the Lord more and more. Please describe in detail to us who desire to hear the great, pure and transcendental activities of the Lord. Udaram, great. Vishuddham, pure. Charitam, the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord, who is the supreme shelter of the greatest devotees. Bhagavat Pradana. Mahattam Aikanta Parayanasya. Ekanta Parayana. The great devotees who accept the Supreme Lord is their whole and soul, life and soul. For them, you are their life. You are their destiny. So like that. Among us, you are the person who prominently serve the Lord. Speak to us who desire to hear more and more about the Supreme Lord. What do you want to hear about the Lord? Udara Charitam and Vishuddha Charitam. The great, wonderful activities and qualities of the Supreme Lord, and also the spotless, wonderful, glorious activities and characters of the Supreme Lord. So in that way. So then they are further continuing, they are further expressing their eagerness to hear more and more Krishna Katha. Savai Mahabhagavata Parikshit Yena Pavargakyamada Prabuddhi Jnanena Vaiyasaki Shabditena Beje Kagendra Dvajapada Moolam.
O Suta Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of Garuda, the king of birds. Those topics were vibrated by the son of Vyasa, Srila Sukadeva.
So they say that in the previous they said we want to hear about the Lord, Udara Charitam, Vishuddha Charitam. We also want to hear about the Lord's devotee. Which devotee? Parikshit. To start with Parikshit Maharaj. Because Parikshit Maharaj topic is going on currently. Please continue that topic. Like that they are continuing. King Parikshit, who is such a great devotee, who is also one of the Bhagavad Pradhana, one of the main devotees of the Lord, with pure intelligence, attained liberation. Okay? In the form of the lotus feet of the Lord, having the flag of Garuda. Parikshit Maharaj, hearing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, attained liberation. What kind of liberation? He attained shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. What kind of lotus feet? That lotus feet, which had the marks of flag of Garuda. Dvaja. Dvaja Saroruha Lanchanadhyam. Lord's lotus feet are embedded with so many marks. One among the marks is the flag with Garuda. The flag with the mark of Garuda. Through the knowledge spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Yena apavargyakyam adabra buddhi. Jnanena Vaiyasaki Shabditena. Srila Parikshit Maharaj attained the knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead by hearing the words spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. And by that knowledge he attained apavarga. What kind of apavarga? That apavarga in which he attained shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, which had the marks of a flag consisting of Garuda, an emblem of Garuda. Therefore, there are many more, but one example is shown here in this verse. So here the understanding is, by jnana one attains liberation. The normal understanding is by practice of jnana one attains liberation. Why do you not desire liberation as a result of your knowledge? The general phrase is by jnana one attains liberation. Why you sages are not interested in liberation? Why are you not interested in apavarga? Why are you not interested in kaivalya? Why are you asking to hear? Why are you asking me to speak more and more Krishna Katha? You should perform yajna, you should perform jnana, you should perform ashtanga yoga so that you attain liberation. Why you want to hear Krishna Katha? What is the use? Then the sages are saying that, no, my dear king, don't mistake us. Our understanding of jnana is hearing Krishna Katha to know about the Lord more and more. Our understanding of apavarga is not kaivalya. Our understanding of apavarga is going to Vaikuntha, becoming an associate of the Supreme Lord and able to serve Lord's lotus feet in person. That is the meaning of apavarga as far as we are concerned. Like that the sages are speaking this verse. For us, the devotees, jnana actually means tasting the activities of the Lord. Tasting the activities of the Lord means hearing more and more about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and understanding them and realizing them. Its result, liberation, means attaining the feet of the Lord. For us, apavarga means attaining the feet of the Supreme Lord, not entering into Brahman. Instead, entering into Vaikuntha, getting the shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. King Parikshit is the example. Why? By jnana, he got apavarga. What kind of jnana? He heard from Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami, about the wonderful Nama, Rupa, Guna Leela of the Supreme Lord. That is jnana. That kind of jnana we want. Please talk about the Lord's activities by which King Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who has a flag with Garuda. But in the 12th canto, it is said that Parikshit attains liberation. Bhagavatam 12th canto says that Parikshit Maharaj By meditating upon that impersonal Brahman, he attained Kaivalya. That's how Bhagavatam concludes in one sense. That is true. He attained Apavarga. What kind of Apavarga? Apavarga means the lotus feet of the Lord for the devotees. For the Jnanis and Yogis, Apavarga means Kaivalya. For the devotees, Apavarga means the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is explained in 5:19, verse number 19 to 20. In the 5th canto, 19th chapter said, Yata varna vidanam apavargascha api bhavati. Yosau Bhagavad Bhakti Yoga. Liberation by methods according to one's varna and ashrama is Bhakti unto Lord. For the Jnanis and Yogis, liberation means Sahyuja. But for the devotees, Bhakti liberation means Prema Bhakti. Attaining Prema Bhakti is their liberation. That is the understanding of Apavarga for devotees. Just as Apavarga is defined at the lotus feet of the Lord, Jnana is defined at the pastimes of the Lord, as described by Srila Suta Goswami. Thus, it is not untrue that King Parikshit attained Apavarga by Jnana. Yes, Parikshit Maharaj attained Apavarga by Jnana because Jnana means knowing about Lord's Nama Rupa Gunalila. Apavarga means attaining shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. This answered the question previously asked. How did his death take place and what did he achieve after death? So this verse indicates how did Parikshit Maharaj attain death and what did he attain after death? He attained Jnana from Sukadeva Goswami, and by that Jnana he attained Apavarga. What kind of Apavarga? Shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, which is marked with the flag consisting the emblem of Garuda. That is what we want. Just like Parikshit Maharaj hearing Krishna Katha more and more from Sukadeva Goswami attained the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, similarly we want to hear more and more so that we can also attain the same lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Like that, they are inspiring Suta Goswami to speak more and more Krishna Katha. Tanna param punyam samavrutartam आख्यानमत्यद्भुत योगनिष्ठम् आख्याहि अनन्ताचरितोपपन्नम् पारीक्षितं भागवताभिरामम्.
Thus, please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Maharaja Parikshit, and they are very dear to pure devotees, being full of bhakti yoga.
So they say that, please tell us clearly the most pure Bhagavatam containing unlimited pastimes, which is devoted to astonishing bhakti, since it is dear to the devotees and was recited to King Parikshit. So they are saying that kindly continue describing Param Punyam, the most auspicious narration of the Supreme Lord and his wonderful devotees. Akyanam Ati Adbhuta Yoga Nishtam, because the narrations of the Supreme Lord and his wonderful devotees are very much establishing the glorious position of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, please continue to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, continue to speak about Bhakti Yoga. So like that, they are inspiring the sages of Suta Goswami, the sages of Naimisharanya. Tell us clearly the Bhagavatam, which is devoted to Bhakti Yoga, because it is dear to the devotees and was recited to King Parikshit. So like that, they are inspiring Suta Goswami to continue the narration more and more. So any questions till now based on the verses spoken by the sages of Naimisharanya?
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
What is Jnana otherwise about the Brahman? What is jnana?
Otherwise, jnana is all about the distinction between matter and spirit. The distinction between the material body and the soul. The distinction between what is Brahman and what is not Brahman. That is jnana.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Correction. Yes, Prabhu. Little louder.
Association of devotee means not necessarily pure devotee.
That's what we said, na? Even sadhakas, sadhana bhaktas also should be aspired for.
For the association of devotee. Generally, wherever the association of devotee, there we should just go.
Yes,
but there are many places that they make it only for the invitees.
because of the limitations of so many circumstances, because the place, because the prasadam arrangements, all these things are there. But Sunday temple Bhagavatam classes, there are no such restrictions. Anyone can come. Temple programs, no restrictions. In the invited programs, there may be some restriction. That too, for those who are taking it very lightly. They never say that those devotees who are very sincere coming every week, they never say that don't come. So coming regularly shows our sincerity to be part of it. If we ourselves are not coming regularly and we are saying that they are not allowing us, that is not at all good. So it's good. Any questions from other devotees online?
No, Prabhuji.
Louder.
No question.
Here one devotee is asking. Yeah.
Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that Tatvata will come back to me. Can it just say that those who have developed a rasa with, they can achieve the lotus feet of God, Lord.
Okay. What rasa? Are you talking about that rasa in the Dasya rasa, Sakya rasa and all?
Yeah, that shloka.
Here rasa means eager to hear. The taste of hearing Krishna Katha. Without taste, one cannot continue it for long. People from outside, if we bring them to our regular normal Bhagavatam classes, they can't sit more than 5 minutes. Because they don't have taste in, they can't connect to Krishna Katha. They can't connect to Bhagavatam class. Only those people who can connect to Bhagavad Katha, they will sit. So it's like that. If I will be called for a cosmology classes, I speak. Those who want to know about more and more, they will only sit. Others, they get bored even after 5 minutes only. So they need to have that rasa, means that inclination to know more and more in that particular subject matter. That is called rasa. Otherwise, no point in continuing further.
Translate expert in releasing the topics of Lord.
That's what, na? Attraction, attachment to hear and more, understand more and more. Then only one get to hear. Otherwise, no point in. No one will continue.
I was thinking the state of Ruchi and people.
Don't. Of course, it's state of Ruchi only. It is after Anartha Nivritti only we'll get that attachment to hear more and more Krishna Katha without any other distractions. That is true. But still, even for anyone, any stage, that without that taste, one cannot continue to hear more and more. The taste is required. That's why it is said rasa.
It's selling same thing again and again.
Obviously.
That stage of fruits.
Yeah, we can see it as a state of ruchi. Even not coming to the state of ruchi, also still one can continue, want to hear more and more. No issue.
Also we can.
Yes, that's what we discussed the example now when Maharaj speaks yatras or Gaur Purnima festivals and all. The devotees sit for the whole day and hear. That cumulative effect of the association will forcefully give us the taste to hear more and more. For the first time, when I came in the year 2006, I was hearing Gaur Purnima classes. That is first time I was hearing about Gaur Katha. Everything is new. So would like to hear, obviously. At one point of time, okay, anyway, I don't know anything. Why do I want to know? But since who is speaking, that matters. When somebody is speaking about for whom we have a lot of respect and a lot of affection, so we continue to hear more and more. So in both the ways.
Discuss Rati Pratigin.
Like that. That will be there. And when we go to Yatras, when we hear about Krishna Katha and Mahaprabhu's Katha more and more, obviously we know little bit, we want to know more and more. And especially when somebody like His Holiness Radha Maharaj speaking, obviously we will want to hear more and more. Class would start at 5 o'clock, but we would go at 4:30 to get a place near to the dais. So that shows eagerness. That is a symptom of eagerness to know, to hear more and more. Even here temple hall also, especially when Pune devotees come here, before the Guru Puja completes, they sit very close to the Vyasasana. And our devotees, in order to make them rise, they continue Guru Puja more and more for 5 more minutes more, and they make them get up and dance. So it's like that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I ask you a question?
Yes, Madhuj.
Prabhuji, those who are aspiring for Brahman realization, what do they hear when they regularly meet? If they don't hear about Krishna, they don't hear about the Supreme Lord, then what is their topic? Only this one topic of difference between spirit and matter, exactly, or what is their references? What exactly do they read, study?
No. They have many things to discuss and hear. There is a huge topic. So what devotees here is only maybe Bhagavad Purana, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and few other Puranas. Our subject matter in one sense, in the form of written literature, is very limited. But for the Jnanis, the subject matter which is written, it is very huge. They have 1000 Upanishads. They have Brahma Sutras and unlimited commentaries on Brahma Sutras. They have so much subject matter. The literature which is there for the Jnanis is much more than the literature which is there for Vaishnava devotees. Our Vaishnava devotee literature is very limited than the literature which is there for the Jnanis and Yogis. They have unlimited literature. They have so much to listen, so much to talk, so much to. Because their entire sadhana is all about hearing only.
But then what about their...
Tapasya.
So do they not believe in the Supreme Lord's supremacy, or do they undermine the activities and pastimes of the Lord, or what is it?
No, in the Jnanis, there are two categories of Jnanis. Some of the Jnanis are called Mayavadis, some of the Jnanis are called Brahmavadis.
Yeah.
The Mayavadis do not accept the personal form of Bhagavan. They deny any literature that talks about the personal form of Bhagavan, they deny it. They don't accept it. But the Brahmavadis, they accept. They also worship also the form of Bhagavan, but somehow or other they developed inclination towards Brahman more than Bhagavan. So they also aspire to enter into Brahman. So only Brahmavadis who also accept Bhagavan, who also respect for the form of Bhagavan, but they may not show so much inclination to hear about Bhagavan. They only attain Sayajya Mukti. But other Mayavadis who outrightly deny the existence of Bhagavan, existence of the form of Bhagavan, they will never attain moksha. That is clearly stated in the Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures and other commentaries of the Acharyas. So it is like that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So now, Suta Goswami is responding. Suta Uvacha. Aho vayam janma brutodya hamsa vruddha nuvritya piviloma jata dauskulnyamadim vidunoti shigram mahattamanam abhidana yoga.
Sri Suta Goswami said, "O God, although we are born in a mixed caste, we are still promoted in birthright simply by serving and following the great who are advanced in knowledge. Even by conversing with such great souls, one can without delay cleanse oneself of all disqualifications resulting from lower births."
Yeah. Now Suta Goswami expressing his humility, talking about his humble birth. Born of mixed caste. Sutas are generally born from a Brahmana mother and a Kshatriya father. It is like a Pratiloma marriage. It is not like the same caste marriage. A Brahmana mother, a Brahmana woman married to a Kshatriya man, and their children are called as Sutas.
That is condemned.
Not always. Not all the cases it is condemned. In this case, They are neither called as Brahmanas nor called as Kshatriyas. Okay, you remember, you are getting it? The mother is from the Brahmana community, the father is from Kshatriya community. The children are neither called as Kshatriyas nor called as Brahmanas. They are called as Sutas. But by nature, they develop the culture of the mother. They develop the qualities of the mother. That's why they are favorably inclined to the Brahmanical occupation than the Kshatriya occupation. The children generally get that this is a Rigveda mantra. Srila Madhvacharya quotes in his commentary to Bhagavatam. Matru Jati Pitru Lakshan. The children will get the Jati, the caste of the mother, and the qualities of the father. So it is like that. Even in the Bhagavatam, we see so many examples that when a Kshatriya person gets married to a Kshatriya woman, the children will be called as the Kshatriyas. When the Kshatriya king marries a Vaishya woman, the children will be called as Vaishya. Okay. Lord Krishna's father, on one side Nanda Maharaj, on the other side Vasudev. Vasudev is a Kshatriya, Nanda Maharaj is a Vaishya. Because the grandmother of Vasudev and the grandmother of Nanda Maharaj both are the co-wives of the same father, same husband. But the Kshatriya woman gave birth to a Kshatriya son, that was Shurasena. And a Vaishya woman gave birth to a Vaishya man, that was Parajanya. And Parajanya gave birth to 5 sons, Nanda, Upananda, etc. So because of the wife was from the Vaishya community, the children will be known as Vaishyas. Because the children are from the Kshatriya community, the children will be known as Kshatriyas. Even in the case of a Brahmana, if the Brahmana marries a Brahmani, the children will be Brahmanas. If Brahmana marries a Kshatrani, the children will be Kshatriyas. So it is like that.
Now there are so many intercaste.
Prabhuji, forget about now. No, you can't put these rules and regulations now. This is in the past, in the previous 3 yugas. Now these are not practical anymore. Now we don't know who we really are also.
It is
Yeah. So he is talking about that. He is from a Suta community. His mother is from Brahmana community, father is from Kshatriya community. That's why he is in the different category Suta. He is telling that Barna mixed caste, we have certainly made our birth successful today by following after Sukadeva Goswami. For glorifying great devotee, for glorification of great devotees, quickly destroy the mental pain arising from the low birth. Such kind of children who are born out of Pratiloma marriage are not respected generally. They are kind of criticized or looked upon, looked down. Okay. But here Suta Goswami is saying that even though I am being born from the Viloma Jati, from the Pratiloma marriage, but all of you are respecting me because I have taken shelter of Sri Sukadeva Goswami, taken shelter of Sri Vyasdeva. By their blessings, my low birth is ignored. Even though I have been born in low birth, I am glorified as a devotee because of their mercy. Like that, he is acknowledging the causeless mercy of Sri Sukadeva Goswami and Vyasdeva. Ah, yes. Ayati is a Kshatriya, Devayani is a Brahmani, Sharmishta is a Kshatrani. But Devayani already received a curse from Kacha. Though you are born in the family of Brahmanas, but you are behaving like a Kshatriya girl, you will never ever get married to a Brahmana. You will get married to a Kshatriya. And your children will also be known as Kshatriyas. That was the curse pronounced by a Kacha, who was the son of Brahaspati. That's why she married to Ayat. It's a different story. So here the sages are saying that, the Suta Goswami is saying that Suta Goswami expresses his good fortune to attain qualification of speaking Bhagavatam by the mercy of the sages So that he heard Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami and got opportunity to speak Bhagavatam to other Brahmanas. In one sense, Brahmanas are superior to the Sutas. But now the Brahmanas are requesting Suta Goswami to speak Bhagavatam. They are keeping him on high seat and giving him high position because he is their devotee. Bhakti will destroy any low position because of any other reasons. So in that way. Though we are born a mixed caste and therefore condemned, today our births have certainly become successful by following the knowledge of the ancients or by following Srila Sukadeva Goswami. By following the footsteps of Srila Vyasdeva and other disciples of Vyasdeva, and especially by following the footsteps of Srila Sukadeva Goswami, my low birth has been ignored and I have given a praiseworthy seat where I can continue to speak Bhagavatam to Brahmanas. It's like that. This collection of conversation of the great devotees, even though in common language, destroys mental affliction caused by the birth in a low family. This we can also see in our ISKCON community also. The devotees are coming from different communities, but when they become devotees, there is no discrimination based on one's birth, based on one's caste. Everyone is addressed as Prabhu. Everyone is given opportunity to speak Bhagavatam and everyone will sit at his feet and hear Bhagavatam. So this we can see today also. That is the glory of Bhakti. Bhakti can destroy one's prarabdha karmas. Whatever prarabdha karma one may have, all such prarabdha karmas are completely destroyed. Completely destroyed by once taking shelter of Bhakti. So that is the glory of Bhakti. Yes. Suta is there, na? Suta means that indicate that Pratiloma marriage, the birth due to Pratiloma marriage. No, he himself is a Suta. His parents. No, okay, you are telling. So Roman Suta's parents might be Kshatriya father and Brahmana mother. Their pura lineage, I don't know. We have to cross check. Somewhere the father might be a Kshatriya and mother might be a Brahmana. He was raised by Suta community. But he was son of Suryadeva and Kutti Maharani. Kuta punargrunato nama tasya mahattamaikantaparayanasya yo antashakti bhagavan ananto mahatgunatvadyamanantamaho.
What to speak of those who are under the direction of the great devotees, chanting the holy name of the unlimited, who has unlimited potency, the personality of Godhead, unlimited in the potency and transcendental by attributes, is called the Ananta, unlimited.
If the Lord is Ananta, Lord's devotees also will become Ananta. Like that is speaking. What doubt is there about this? For one who chants the name of the unlimited Lord, who is the shelter of the greatest devotees, who has unlimited power and who is called unlimited or Ananta, because he bestows his unlimited qualities to his devotees. If the Lord is unlimited, Lord's devotees also will become unlimited very easily. What more can be said for the person who chants the name which destroys the bad birth of the chanter? But how can bad birth be destroyed without destroying the prarabdha karma which causes the bad birth? Because of one's bad karmas, one taken birth in the bad family. So how can the bad birth can be destroyed by practicing bhakti? Then he says that it is well known that prarabdha karma is destroyed only by experiencing it. How could chanting the name destroys it? A person has performed a sinful activity. As a result, one is born in a bad family. Okay, one has to experience the result of being born in a bad family. He will be called, he will be criticized, he will be humiliated by being born in that family. One has to go through that. How can that be nullified without experiencing it? Like that, one may question. And this verse says that Because the Lord has unlimited energies, one of those energies certainly will destroy the prarabdha karma. Even though a person might be born in a bad family, but by practicing bhakti, one will be no more criticized, one will be no more humiliated. Because he gives his qualities to his devotees, because the Lord gives his qualities to his devotees, those devotees call him unlimited. Because the Lord's qualities in the devotee, prarabdha karmas cannot remain in the devotee. When a devotee takes shelter of the Supreme Lord, the Lord will bestow all his wonderful qualities unto that devotee. Because of those qualities, the devotees will never be criticized of their bad birth. They are always glorified as devotees only. So it is like that. When a person takes to Krishna consciousness, we will never trace back to what is their caste, what is their birth. We will never trace back to their previous karmas, etc., etc. Because we have understood that Lord Krishna will purify them, Lord Krishna will take care of them. So we glorify them, we respect them as a devotee only. So that is understanding. Even though he is born in Suta community, Brahmanas will never listen to Sutas, technically. But they are listening to Suta Goswami because he is a devotee. So in that way, that is the glory of Bhakti and Bhagavan. Then the Suta Goswami further continues. Etavatalam nanusuchitena gunera samyatisayana sa hitveteran partayato vibhutir yasyangrirenum jushatena bispo.
It is now ascertained that he, the personality of Godhead, is unlimited and there is none equal to him. Consequently, no one can speak of him adequately. Great demigods cannot attain the favor of the goddess of fortune even by prayers. But this very goddess renders service unto the Lord, although he is unwilling to have such service.
Enough with delineating the Lord, who has no equal or superior in qualities. No need to talk about Lord is Ananta, this, that, Lord has unlimited qualities. Kindly understand that Lord has no one equal to him, no one superior to him. Asamya a atishaya. There is no one equal to him, there is no one superior to him. What is the proof that no one equal to him, no one superior to him? This verse and next verse establishes the superior position of Lord. One example is here. He said that ignoring Brahma and others who pray to her, even Mother Lakshmi, with a desire for receiving all those qualities in full, all the qualities of Lord Vishnu in full, serves the dust of the feet of this Lord who has no material desire. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, they all worshipping Mother Lakshmi, hoping for the glance of Mother Lakshmi so that they can become prosperous and auspicious. And that Lakshmi, whose favors are sought by Brahma, Shiva, and other devatas in the world, ignoring them, she is serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, who is not at all interested in Mother Lakshmi. She is serving the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu with a desire to get the wonderful qualities of Lord Vishnu. That is the glorious position of Lord Vishnu. This is one example. Who is able to speak about those qualities? Enough of so many attempts to describe the Lord, who is unequal and of course unsurpassed in his qualities. Though he is without desire, though Lord does not want anyone, he is completely Atmaram. He does not want any Lakshmis to serve him. But still, in spite of Lord does not want to have any Lakshmis to serve him, Mother Lakshmi on her own serving the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Lakshmi served the dust of his feet because she desires all those qualities in full, having given a Brahma and others who pray to her. Then, this is another example which also establishes the superior position of Lord Vishnu. Atapi yatpadanakavasrishtam Jagad virinchoparutarhanamba Shesham punati anyatamo mukundad Konamaloke bhagavet padata.
Who can be
Who
worthy
can
of
be
the name of the Supreme Lord but the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna? Brahmaji collected the water emanating from the nails of his feet in order to award it to Lord Shiva as a worshipful welcome. This very water, the Ganges, is purifying the whole universe, including Lord Shiva.
Yeah. This verse talks about another pastime of Lord appearing as Vamana and Trivikrama. So there are three personalities are involved in this pastime. One person, just by raising his feet, created a hole in the universal shell, brought Ganga inside the universe. And the second person collected that water, kept in the Kamandalu, and using that water to worship or to wash the feet of that person who extended his feet. Okay. And that water, when it comes down, there is another person, in order to become auspicious, in order to become purified of contaminations, keeps that water on top of his head. So who is superior among these three? So that's how this pastime establishes the superiority of Lord Vishnu over Brahma and Shiva. Who can be called by the name Bhagavan except Mukunda, whose toenail water purifies the universe along with Lord Shiva and becomes Argya for Brahma. Lord Brahma uses this foot water for all his rituals as Argya water. That water only uses as Achamaniya, Argya, Madhuparga, Padya. So like that, every way he uses the same water. So that is the position of Lord Vishnu. The water which flows from the toenails of Lord Trivikrama, which acts as Argya water for Lord Brahma for the purpose of his worship, for the purpose of worship of his worshipful deity, purified the whole universe along with Lord Shiva. Ganga passes from Satyaloka all the way up to Patraloka, purified all the 14 planet systems. In between, also purifies Lord Shiva by touching his head. The meaning of the word Bhagavan cannot apply to anyone except Mukunda. He is the Lord of everyone. Since the most elevated persons in this universe, Lakshmi, Brahma, and Shiva, serve his feet, they point out that he is supreme. The previous verse and this verse indicate that Lord Vishnu is supreme. There is no one equal to him. There is no one superior to him. That is his position. So this will be the last verse for today's discussion. So that from here, from the next verse, the new discussion starts that we will do next week. So one theme will get completed. Yatra anurakta sahasaiva dhira vyapohya dehadishu sangamodam vrajanti tat paramaham samantyam yasmin ahimso pashama swadharma.
Self-controlled persons who are attached to the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, can all of a sudden give up the world of material attachment, including the gross body and subtle mind, and go away to attain the highest perfection of the renounced order of life, by which non-violence and renunciation are consequential.
So two things will happen as soon as one takes to bhakti. What are the two things? The devotees who are attracted to Lord Krishna immediately give up strong attachment to the body and other material objects. The devotees who are attracted to practicing bhakti, attracted to the lotus feet of service to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, they lose their strong attachment to one's own body and all the other material objects, and they attain the highest stage of life, Paramahamsa. They become Paramahamsas, in which there is lack of hatred and in which there is absorption in Krishna are the natural qualities. Yasmin ahimsa upashama and swadharma. One becomes attracted to swadharma, that is to practice bhakti, and one becomes non-violent. Wise men who can be observed are the proof of this. Udam means firm, Antyam means reaching the highest stage, Yasmin means in which practice, in the practice of bhakti, they get all these wonderful qualities. The first thing is they become attracted to service to Lord's lotus feet, and they become indifferent to the demands of the body and things connected to the body. This is one thing. Second thing, actionally, they become indifferent to causing violence to others, ahimsa, and they are only dedicated to practicing their own principles of bhakti. All these things will immediately take place by taking shelter of bhakti. What other sadhanas can result in all these things? Like that, they are kind of glorifying the position of bhakti. Even though bhakti is glorious, even though Bhagavan is glorious, there is no end to it. Even Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi, they are surrendered to Lord, Supreme Lord. Even Antashesha are not able to complete the glories of Supreme Lord. Devotees are always eager to hear the Lord more and more. Since though all of you are asking me to speak Krishna Katha more and more, but I am not such a great devotee. I am a insignificant devotee. As far as my little understanding goes, as far as my little realizations goes, I will speak to you Krishna Katha. Don't expect that I am a great devotee. I am a simple, ordinary person. I can only speak as far as my understanding goes, not more than that. So with that, he is beginning to speak the pastimes of Parikshit Maharaj. Aham yipushto arya mano bhavadbir achakshva atma vagamotra yavan nabappatantatma samam patatrinas tata samam vishnu gatim vipaschita.
O Yasti, who are as powerful, pure as the sun, I shall try to describe to you the transcendental pastime of Vishnu as far as my knowledge is concerned. As the birds fly in the sky, as far as their capacity allows, so do the learned devotee describe the Lord as far as the realization allows.
He's saying that all of you are like suns who is situated at a far distance at a long height. I am like an ordinary bird. I cannot fly as high as you are. I can only fly to a limited distance. All of you are actually great devotees. I am an ordinary devotee. I am like a bird. I can only fly this much. As far as I can understand that much, I'll speak about the Supreme Lord. They are telling you are a great devotee. And he is telling you, all of you are a great devotees. I am not a devotee at all. So this is how the devotees interact with each other. Rejoicing at his good fortune, Suta Goswami begins to speak about Parikshit Maharaj. All of you are like suns situated at a very high and spreading your glories all over. I am like a bird. I am actually blocking the sunlight. I will speak knowledge according to how much I have understood. Just as birds fly in the sky according to their ability and not to the topmost height of the sky. Even those who are wise can know the Lord's pastimes according to their intelligence. All of you are actually great. All of you are like sun. You are situated far distant. All of you can do greater benefit to the entire society in general. But still you are asking me to speak Krishna Katha like a bird. Whatever height it can fly, that much I can speak. So like that, he is going to narrate the pastimes of Parikshit Maharaj, which we will discuss next week. So we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you very much for joining today's Bhagavatam class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna,
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.